I think one of the things that really sort of registered was the huge number of children there, and a lot of them anyway, rather little children, and there's sort of sheer vulnerability. The fact that these kids and these basically very simple people that we met, the ones that we met, from in terms of lifestyle and everything else and expectations, were just being sort of pawns in a power game. The first thing that hits you is how much more permanent this is than the place we went to yesterday. Obviously it's a lot older and so on, but again, in the abstract, you think of refugees as downtrodden and miserable, and yet it's just not like that. It's just like really any other third world township or city, and it's just the sheer spirit of the people here that's I think is just so impressive.
We visited Dr. Simon's Bible College just outside Maylar Camp, where many refugees come together for worship. Here we were able to talk about how we see the global church as one body.
God has arranged the parts in the body, every one of them, just as He wanted them to be. If they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. And the parts that we think are less honourable, we treat with special honour.
This afternoon we went, some of us, to the orphanage and just spent a short time singing and playing games with some of the kids. And again, they were such lovely kids, and you're just so aware of the fact that these have been orphaned. It's quite heartbreaking when you think of the damage that's been done to them, and yet they're so resilient. After that, which was fun as well as touching, there was a visit to sort of ward for men who've been blinded by landmines, and that, as you'd expect, I mean, it was heartbreaking. There was one guy who'd lost a leg and his eyes, and then I suppose almost worst of all, a young boy of now nearly 14, who was 12 at the time, stepped on a landmine that had been set around his village and lost his eyes, and by the look of the way his head was covered, had probably been badly burnt as well. And it just really brings home the realities of the situation here.
Well, we've come here to Burma to express encouragement, solidarity and hope, and the plight of Burma in general, and the Karen people in particular. And that's what makes today so special, the 60th anniversary of the Karen Revolution. We're getting up crack of dawn, and we're moving across a river. We gather we're in the company of hundreds, maybe even thousands of people. So it's a very special occasion, and we're keeping a very open mind, but also looking forward to being really attentive to what we experience, and I hope also to encounter some individuals and hear their story.
Well, this is just intensifying all the expectation coming down in the early dawn and gathering in the dark, and now as the light breaks, here we are crossing over the river, and you can feel the anticipation of the crowd, really looking forward and excited to what's about to happen.
I think generally the quiet dignity of the Karen people is what has had the deepest impact, and the apparent absence of bitterness. I think that demonstrates a strength of character and a very bright hope for the possibility of reconciliation in the future, which must surely take place if Burma is to recover from so many years of such deep injustice, and people are able to live together again.
For me, the real highlight of it, one of the highlights, was seeing the dancing that went on. The costumes were fantastic, the dancing was fantastic. I'd never seen anything quite like it. And what just struck me was there's the enemy maybe 2 hours away, a beleaguered little enclave of freedom in an oppressive country, and yet these people they put in a tremendous effort with their costumes, and the dancing must have taken days of practicing, and you know, there's a real sort of exuberance on their faces. I was just so impressed. It was fantastic.
Moving on from the celebrations, the team met with a Burma army defector. This young man joined the Burma army to serve his country, but instead saw many instances of discrimination. He witnessed his own people getting poorer and poorer in every way. The army told him it was impossible for him to be with his Karen girlfriend, as she was from a different nationality. That's why he left. He wants democracy in Burma and respect for ethnic rights. Then it was time to say goodbye to Burma once again and cross the Moi River back into Thailand.
Well, we've had an amazing day, and it'd be difficult to adequately describe everything that we've witnessed, but I think we go back pretty exhausted but absolutely exhilarated with everything that we've seen. Burma's a beautiful country, and it's full of beautiful people and extraordinary contrasts. A government with less than 10% of the popular mandate, mobilizing its 400,000 strong army in a war waged against its own people and resourced with 50% of the national budget, must surely be reckoned as illegitimate both in its behaviour and in its very existence.
Despite all of the suffering and the pain that they're going through, there is a real hope that there will be a free Burma in the future, and lots of people have talked about when Burma is free, which is a really amazing thing to think when people are in the situation that they're in.
Everybody we've talked to practically has emphasised the importance of prayer, that the situation is not going to change without prayer, and that again is something we all get stuck into.
They've also said as well is that they can't do that by themselves, so they need us to support them, they need people to pray for them, they need people to campaign, they need people to put pressure on the international community. So I think for me, coming out of this, going home, you know, for me the message will be to tell people about what's happening in Burma, to make sure they know what's happening in Burma, and to really encourage them to get involved and to be, you know, a voice for these people who really need our help.
We have got the campaign, the Change for Burma. We can get stuck in. It's something everybody can get involved in, every church, every individual, and that is what will put pressure on politicians and governments to actually provide the international action.
Pray, pray, pray is the message that we have received time and again, and that translates into individuals becoming, first of all, acquainted with the situation and with the people, and that's a wonderful motivator then to want the best for them. So the place to start is the Change for Burma website. Have a look at that and then get involved and be like the Burma people. Never give up and know that change will come.
Do you love my Jesus?